I'm going to share with you what I'm doing in crypto, Bitcoin investing space, how I am working on expanding, upgrading, and changing my mining farm, as well as a very exciting opportunity that I'm diving deep into. So hey, I'm Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. We've been bopping around the VoskCoin mining farm. Let's dig into it. So crypto people in particular have mixed feelings, right, about ETFs, Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF, things like that. But I like it. Sometimes I have money sitting in the stock market, or I have stocks I want to take profit on or get out of for whatever reason. And I've just viewed Bitcoin ETFs in particular as an easy way to turn dollars into an investment for me, right? So it's not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. Bitcoin has been doing pretty well. It's been trending upwards. ETFs relatively tracked it over the last year. It's much slower moving in comparison. But I did expand my Bitcoin ETF holdings, and I'm watching the ETH ETFs. I may expand my ETH ETF holdings a little bit, but so far ETH ETFs have not been a good endeavor. But Bitcoin ETFs have been a good endeavor. My positions are up anywhere between like 44% and a couple percent, depending on when I bought into those. Beyond that, I'm always working on the mining farm, look at my miners, see if something's working or not working, what's going on there. I found one of my K7s went offline. My K7s, they just have problems randomly, especially they like struggle to get going. This K7 was recently adjusted and then just decided to, it basically freezes in the dashboard, and you click restart like 10 times and you sit here and wait, and eventually the restart option picks up or shows up and you click it, and then it will restart and start working again. I've been really happy and impressed with my L9 performance. That's been a great addition to the farm, and I will tell you more about the AL1, which I just restarted, and I absolutely hate this miner. It's the worst miner and one of the worst miners in history, okay, in absolute history. But you can see, if I have a miner go down, like how does that kind of impact my farm? You can see that I'm missing almost all of the hash rate from that miner from yesterday's average hash rate. And that equated to about 2,000 CKB coins, CK bytes. Right, so that's the Nervos network cryptocurrency. That's a key piece of my VoskCoin mining farm. It's my biggest mining presence other than Bitcoin mining. So 2,000 coins, right? That's $34. And it's astonishing because like that's not what the projected mining profitability is, but like missing the about roughly one miner hash rate there, I lost $34 of income. So I didn't have to pay for the electricity bill. Okay. So that saves me on that miner like a little bit less than $6. But then I miss out on $28 of passive income. Normally we're focusing on how to learn more and earn more here on the channel. If you want to learn how to lose, then you can use TradeOgre. They're absolute scammers. They continue to operate. They've been holding my coins hostage. They told me that I need to delete my threads calling them scammers because they won't give me my coins, and then maybe they'd give me my coins, the irony. But TradeOgre is a scam. They are scamming me out of right now $4,600 worth of the Kaspa cryptocurrency. My coins have been in there about a year. So just understand, be advised. You are screwed if you use them. They continue to operate. They continue to add coins. They've replied to my messages on DMs. That's like basically the only way to even try to get into contact with them, or probably just one shady dude running it. If you've been negatively impacted by this, join the VoskCoin Discord server at me. I'm going to start putting a coalition together, and I'm going to get this taken care of because it just pisses me off. I take that personal. We recently talked about Pinex US listing Kaspa, so that was a really cool addition, and we've got some affiliate links and referral links for things down in the video description below. If you want to support the channel, help us keep making content and keep it free and all the time here on the tube, that's a great way to support us without spending $1, and just do whatever you're going to do. So they listed it and very heavily marketed as the first US exchange for listing Kaspa. And then I got a comment that was like, hey, it's on Uphold too, right? And I was like, oh no, I think Uphold has one of the worst user interfaces in history. It is abysmal. It is annoying to use, Uphold. But they've been in exchange, they've been around for several years, and they have Kaspa. So you can buy and sell Kaspa in the US on Uphold. Of course, it's a KYC exchange. And I've got a link for them too if you want to support the channel. But one thing that was interesting to me and really stood out is they have, until the rates were just recently cut, it was a 5% interest rate on your USD balance. No lockups, no fees, whatever. And the standout piece is FDIC insured up to $2.5 million and still offering a 4.9% interest rate. Just remember, if with the current rate situation, generally speaking, if your bank is not giving you at least 4%, really like 4.5% to 5% interest on your money, they're just basically stealing from you. They're just profiting while you stay poor. And that's what the system's built to do. So understand that, wake up, work around it. You gotta do better. No one's coming to save us, just like no one's coming to save me, go back in time and stop me from getting the AL1 when it traded at $30,000 a machine. And why did it not even work right yesterday? I'm missing, like, what is that? What, 4,500 gigahash of performance? Every single day, I lose a huge magnitude of mining profitability with that piece of crap miner, right? And I'm already down to 40 coins a day, and then a huge drop in mining performance. I don't understand what happened, because when I look back over the last 24 hours, I do not see diminished performance. When I look on this page, I see what it registered for me that day, and it registered it very low. I went into the machine and it did not show me any evidence that there were basically any problems. I went ahead, and you can look at the screenshot to see exactly that. Had a 21-day uptime. I just went ahead and restarted it because this machine cannot afford to have problems. Oh no, absolutely not. This thing needs to function because it's a far cry away from ever even basically breaking even. So in other mining news, Kaspa mining has been crushing it. You can see some of my miners on here, daily mining profitability. I keep it simple with their miner model names, right? So my KS3M only has one working hash board right now. I'm supposed to have 2 replacements on the way from Ice River. So hopefully sooner than later on that. BMKS Max, KS5L earning over $12 a day, right, before electricity. S21, right, leading Bitcoin miner, only pulling in, calculated right now, about $10 a day. So nice hashes rates, they adjust all the time. So you really want to take several samples. All right, so example, now S21's at 1061, KS5L is 1421, BMKS Max 1137, KS3 creeps back over $10 a day. But we're seeing huge price cuts on a lot of miners. ASIC Marketplace is going to start slinging the AL1 for Bitmain around 10 grand here sooner or later. The AL3 is already priced all the way down to $10,000. It's nearly the same machine as the Bitmain Antminer AL1. And then you look at the machines like the KS5L, these are priced well under $2,000 right now. So please use our link to support the channel. If you use only our coupon code and not our link, we get no credit. But our code's down in the video description below. I bring it up because it makes this a very interesting price point. It's kind of terrifying how cheap they're making all of these Kaspa miners. They clearly have a Kaspa miner that's going to be twice as good as all of these coming out sooner than later. It's a race to the bottom on this mining front. But with the KRC20 tokens, the emission has been astonishing really lately. Over $3 million in the last 24 hours on Kaspa. This isn't all that abnormal. The mining returns have been surprising. That's so much money. People would think that ALF could be the next Kaspa. Not without the market cap skyrocketing, right? Daily emission here of 1 Bitcoin. So that's not even close. 1 Bitcoin, right? That's like, 0.93. That's like $60,000. So ALF has $60,000 of emission. Kaspa has $3,260,000 of emission almost in the last 24 hours. So it's been crazy seeing the way that Kaspa mining has trended, and it is the closest thing to ever possibly get even close to filling the massive gaping gap that Ethereum left when it moved away from mining, which was obviously such a stupid decision, and the price reflects that. But yeah, in other news, I continue to work on solar stuff, and I've got some other videos that are a bit more elaborate, but I just kind of want to share with you kind of where my head's at. I essentially have quotes from A to H and some variations of those. And looking at the price per watts I'm getting with a ground mount install, some of the quotes came in over $4 price per watt, ridiculous. And my best pricing is coming in around $3.16. Another good company and projects coming in around $3.40 approximately. But it's been really interesting to get all these quotes and to run the numbers. And this system is not to replace my mining farm. My goal is to produce about 30,000 kilowatt hours a year. That would zero out my electricity bill at my home, allow me to heat my garage through the winter for free, running Bitcoin or other mining rigs, right? Because I would be producing an excess of electricity, and with that excess, I would run those miners. I already have the miners, so it's not like I even have to buy or factor that in. Looking at the ROI, I think that on paper, it's like a 10, 11% ROI. Mining coin, hodling it, hoping it works out. My dream goal is to break even on my solar system within 5 to 10 years. Kind of best case to what I expect case. And at my home, I don't have that great of an electricity rate. Some places in the US are much worse. Some are, of course, better. My rate is 14 cents. At the mining farm, I pay between 7 and 10 cents depending on where those miners are deployed on the actual farm there. So getting rid of my very high residential electricity rate that I'm paying with taxed money is a great opportunity to try to preserve wealth and then utilize it with mining to try to actually generate some wealth there as well. And is it really worth it? Should I buy stocks? Should I expand the mining farm? Should I invest in 3-phase and try to get a better electricity rate? It's hard to say. There's all these different paths you can take with everything from investing, mindset, and so forth. But my dream is remained the same for many years. I would love to deploy solar, pay the solar off, pay the mining rigs off, and I'm running miners on electricity I produce. And it's not like I'm infatuated with going green about it. I'm infatuated with trying to enable a real life money cheat code. Like I'm seriously hitting left down, right up every day. Unlimited cash, black sheep wall. All your base are belong to us. See you later, man. Or as we said back in the Warcraft 3 days, greed is good. To round out my solar thoughts though, we're talking, a 20 to 23 kilowatt system. Going to utilize microinverters. I'm still contemplating DIYing it, but given my obligations, I would really just like to work with an installer and get this done and knocked out. But at some point you got to run the numbers. I'm most likely going to use Q cells or rec panels, probably 410 or 430 watt panels. In these designs, I have in-phase inverters, likely to be the IQ8 Plus. And my ideal on-paper system is probably 54 panels, which is projected to get me to roughly that exact number. I've been playing around with all kinds of stuff. I've learned so much more about solar than I really anticipated to this month. But I made an account on Open Solar, which is pretty cool. It's free. It's really designed for like solar installers and companies, but you can go in there, make a free account, put in your location, and then start designing systems and see, if you use these panels with these micro inverters and you had this many of them, what would you produce, right? And all the other details associated with that. What would your return on investment be? How much do you need to zero out your electricity bill, right? It's getting that number to 100 on the dashboard. I'm pretty excited. I've really been crash coursing this really hard, leveling up my solar knowledge in the last month. I'm looking more seriously moving forward investing in solar infrastructure, to be frank, than continuing to invest in miners and mining infrastructure. All of the mining infrastructure just seems to continue to be a race to the absolute bottom. These manufacturers are greedier than ever before. And age-old tactics like first batch buyers are always good to go have now been disproven. So it's not as, to be frank, simple and easy to profitably mine. I do this all day, every day. And the fact that it's so easy to take a misstep and essentially piss tens of thousands of dollars away per miner, it's shocking, jaw-droppingly difficult, and a lot of it comes back to me taking a step back and rethinking my strategy, right? And I talked about that the other day of changing up my strategy. I've been running and gunning the same way, and I've done well, but not well enough. The game's changing, and I need to change too. How can I continue to have a unique advantage? How can I continue to have a good return on investment? How can I continue to effectively chase financial freedom and not fuck up and bankrupt myself? That's where my head's at. I'm neck deep in all this research right now. Aluminum cable versus copper cable on solar installs, inverter efficiency, and then continuous output on the microinverters. What kind of output can I actually expect from these panels, right? 430 watts doesn't mean you're going to get a straight 430 watts. So I'm trying to learn and understand absolutely everything, and then complete this and turn my focus to a commercial level install, probably a pilot solar field that I can run several miners. I'm still working through the residential side, so I haven't made a final decision on the commercial side, but my mindset is to zero out electricity from working over there, and then also be able to run several miners 24/7 throughout the year. Right? And we've run the math for that. We've talked about in other videos, and I won't go too far down the solar lane here. But yeah, it's the game's changing, and so am I. Only thing I hope that's not changing is you from being a subscriber. Unless you're not, then you should change into one. Thanks for watching. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is our CSO, Chief Solar Officer, here at the VoskCoin YouTube channel, because solar is obviously a way better investment than alpha mining. Alpha mining sucks, and Bitmain is so greedy. And TradeOgre, they're scammers. Happy whatever day it is. Goodbye.